The saga we all know as the DCEU is finally coming to a close with the release of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I just watched it and this is my review. I was hoping the movie would make big waves, but it was kinda just a puddle. I'm gonna talk about the movie freely, so watch out for spoilers. Maybe come back after you've seen the movie and we could talk about it. Chapter times are in the description so you can skip to whatever topic you're most interested in hearing me talk about. This movie is a follow-up to the first Aquaman movie, which grossed more than $1.1 billion at the global box office, making it the most lucrative DCEU movie. This movie brings the band back together for the most part with the same director, James Wan, as well as stars Jason Momoa, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Patrick Wilson, Nicole Kidman, Amber Heard, and this will be the final movie looped into what's become known as the DCEU, which is all the movies that stemmed from the 2013 Man of Steel movie, which is 10 years of storytelling. What did work about this movie is pretty simple. I still enjoy Jason Momoa as the character of Aquaman, even though it's not perfect. He embodies some of the coolest iterations of the character. He's gruff, burly, and he's just really enthusiastic about his role. I also like Yahya Abdul-Mateen II as Manta. I'm glad he got a lot more screen time this second time around. His portrayal made me appreciate the character of Manta more than I did before these movies, and I feel like he did a whole lot with what he was given to work with this time. And I also enjoy Randall Park's Dr. Stephen Shin here more than most of the more integral characters. He was more grounded and empathetic, and I could relate more to his situation than I could to most of what was going on in this movie. I also enjoyed the effects work that went into the underwater scenes. The attention to detail here was amazing. You could see every individual hair follicle moving around in exactly the way you would expect if one was underwater. And lastly, I enjoyed a lot of the moments of levity throughout the movie. For instance, Ocean Master not knowing how to run. It was funny and it made sense because the character is from the ocean and had never had to use that kind of movement before to get around. All of these made for a fun and lighthearted movie overall. There was unfortunately a good amount here that I didn't care for. Starting with some of the annoying choices they made with Manta. Why do the hero and the villain always need to match in some way in these movies? When they showed Manta get his own trident, I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit, and it gave him access to his own underwater army, making him kind of a reflection of Aquaman. I wish the movies didn't feel the need to do this all the time. They've done it in the past with, say, the first Ant-Man movie or with Man of Steel. Recently with Blue Beetle, even the first Aquaman movie had that trope. I just don't think that it automatically helps movies to be good, so I don't understand why so many of them choose to use it. If you watch my reviews, you know I pay a lot of attention to the visual presentation of everything. In this movie, there were big chunks where I felt like I was actually watching an animated movie because of the amount of CG that was being put on the screen. The underwater stuff was beautiful, like I said before, but there were moments, for instance, where Jason Momoa's real head was placed on a digital body and it just didn't look great or real at all. It was something about the lighting. Some of the environments were completely computer generated, and I think we're getting to a point with these superhero movies where they're all trying to outdo each other and go bigger. The scale of things has become completely unrelatable. It's expected here to a certain extent given the character and just the fact that he has a whole ocean to navigate and to work with. But I wish they found a way to bring more everyday life and regular people into things. It just felt like a bunch of stuff happening and they didn't really communicate what the stakes were very well. And then there's the ending of the movie. They built up this demon guy throughout the whole film only to finally bring him back to life at the end and kill him back off very quickly. They could have let him wreak a little bit of havoc first. Oh, and I don't remember them insinuating that Manta was actually possessed by the demon guy this whole movie. I thought that he was just in agreement with whatever demon dude was saying and going along with it. But then Ocean Master gets the trident and gets possessed. I was confused. The environmental angle was fine, but they didn't really make it a part of the whole movie. They kind of just dropped it in at the end, and it would have been nice to have just one more Justice League moment to cap off the DCEU, but that isn't what we got here, and it didn't really feel like much of a swan song for the universe. So I wasn't a big fan of this movie. It was fun, but I really didn't like much of what was going on. I enjoyed seeing Aquaman and Manta in action, but I just feel like they could have been placed in some better scenarios, and this is probably my least favorite of the 3 DC movies that dropped this year. I'm disappointed that there was just so much that the DCEU never got to do. There was just too much drama and studio issues surrounding it, but I'm glad that DC will get a fresh start here in just a couple years. So let me know what you thought of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom in the comments. Give this video a like if you're enjoying my content, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my next one.